Hey everyone, welcome to Build. I'm your host, Brittany Jones-Cooper. On MTV's SafeWord, the stakes are high when a pair of close celebrity friends go head-to-head in hilarious games and social media challenges that push them out of their comfort zone. At the end of every episode, the loser must answer 3 unfiltered questions while hooked up to a lie detector machine, completely at the mercy of their opponent. It's crazy. So today I'll be joined by the host, Terrence J, to discuss the upcoming second season. But first, let's check out a clip.
You guys are currently logged in to each other's real Twitter accounts. So what do you have for Mike?
Okay, Lupita.
Why'd you come up with that?
I just think that people probably think they, got a little connection, so we might as well go ahead and get that going in the universe.
All right, let's take a look.
Lupita, bring them chocolate cakes back. You ready for round 2?
Okay.
Hashtag, you know you want this.
Yeah. Let's bring that up. So, Mike, what are you thinking right now?
I'm thinking about the that's about to start if that gets out.
She successful as hell. She chocolate as hell. And she might want this. What the
What you mean? You're gonna go crazy, bro.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Mike. Don't do it. Don't do it. I mean,
Mike, is you a thug or what?
Mike came to play.
I am surprised.
All right, so Mike, your points are locked in, and right now, Team Michael B. Jordan is in the lead. This thing is crazy. Up next, Mike, Stilo, they face off for more crazy games. Plus, somebody's going to have to send that lie detector. This is SafeWord. We got more on the way. Unfortunately for MBJ, Lupita did not miss this tweet. She clapped back.
Everyone put your hands together for Terrence J.
Thank you, Brittany.
How much fun is that? I mean, that just looks like roasting your friends in a public forum, which is never wrong.
Yeah, this started, at the house, just roasting each other and coming up with goofy challenges and dares and bets for us to do, and it's kind of morphed into this game, and it's so much fun to host it because I'm never in the hot seat, so it's always fun to set your friends up.
And I remember seeing that tweet from Michael B. Jordan, and I was like really feeding into the Lupita rumors that they were a couple, and I was like, oh, it's true, not knowing that it was part of the show.
Well, we're in a society now where the celebs are always the victims, right? They're always subject to whatever is going on on social media and in the blogs. So this is like the one show where the celebs have the upper hand on everybody at home watching.
So how did you become a part of this project?
Well, I have an overall deal with MTV and VH1, so I produce and host multiple shows for both networks. And this is one of the properties that came about. I executive produced this show with Matador, and it's a lot of fun. We have a great group of writers and producers, and we just come up with all these funny, goofy games. And, I call up my friends, and I always give the same call. I'm like, listen, I just need you to show up at 4 p.m. and don't ask no questions. And then they get set up and go home and hate me for a week.
Yeah. So we saw a clip of this show, but explain to the people who haven't seen it what actually the SafeWord component, how that plays into it.
Okay, so 2 celebrity best friends come on the show, and they assign each other safe words. And you have to compete in different games for points without using your safe word. The more times you use your safe word, the more points you lose. So if we come up here and you have a safe word and I have a safe word and there's something that you don't want to talk about, you can use your safe word, but you're going to lose points in doing so.
I think the best part of this show is that you can tell that they're actually friends. Like Michael B. Jordan, when his friend made his safe word, it was like karate something, and that was clearly an inside joke. And Michael B. Jordan, just his reaction was so fun to watch. So how important is it for casting to make sure that these celebrities are actually friends?
Casting any of these shows is the most complicated part.
Yeah.
Is making sure you get the right guest and making sure that they're friends. So for those 2, they happen to be best friends in real real life. In other cases, you had to put people together sometimes that have done movies. Sometimes they're reunion episodes. Sometimes they got a little frenemy thing going on. So every episode, I just try to make sure that the two people have some sort of special connection, and whatever that connection is, we play into it.
Yeah, because you have some heavy hitters coming on for season 2. I saw you have Tiffany Haddish with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, yup.
Literally, those are the 2 most outrageous, fun people. So can you tell me anything about that episode?
Yeah, Tiffany Haddish, Jamie Foxx. There's a surprise guest in that episode as well. They're both crazy. You have no idea what either one of them is going to say. It's hard keeping them on task and keeping them focused on the game, but they're great sports. And they're both really smart comedians, so they're able to take the material that's there and really build off of it. And I think that episode resulted in Jamie Foxx licking Tiffany Haddish's toes. I think there's some shots off of bodies taking place in that episode. There's a lot of craziness that happens when those two get together.
We had Jamie Foxx here, and I literally was like, I lost control of the interview about 3 seconds in.
Absolutely.
By the time I finished the lead-in, he had called like this little kid up on the stage and was like lifting him up like Simba. I was like, this is your show. Like, they're like true entertainers, so that's really fun.
I remember my first Jamie Foxx interview. Before I could even start talking, he just started beatboxing. He wanted me to freestyle. I left the interview. I was half naked. I was in the woods somewhere. He's crazy.
So would you play this game? Because I feel like,
I could not. Every time somebody leaves, I'm like, man, I'm really not a good friend. I'm really not good to people. I could never play it. I don't know what I could say on this show.
You can say anything.
I don't have the balls for it.
Yeah,
no.
You can say balls.
For sure.
And it all ends with the lie detector.
That was the most confident. You can say balls. You can say balls.
Yeah, I want you to feel confident in this space. It's like a very inclusive space. You can say
Thank you. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So it ends with this lie detector test, and from the episodes I've seen 2, like everybody just fails it, like every time, which is like there was. I don't want to give it away, but Michael B. Jordan had to he was sending some text messages or whatever, and I was like, now everybody knows.
Yeah. I was in a relationship years and years and years ago. I won't say the person's name, but there was this girl that she thought that I was, texting or doing something with or whatever. And I don't know how it got to. I was like, I'll take a lie detector. I'll take a lot. And she took me up on it. And before you know it, we were in LA and we went to this place where you do a lie detector. And I remember as confident as I was in not doing what she accused me of, because I didn't, but then I realized, oh wow, I'm literally sitting in a chair with military grade lie detector software, and this girl that I'm dating is asking me questions. And you sit down, I don't know if anybody's done a lie detector in here. It's the most nerve-wracking thing in the world, because you can't answer anything with long explanation. So it has to be basically a yes or a no. So anytime in real life as a guy, we wiggle ourselves out of trouble by giving all this exposition on whatever we're trying to say, right? Yeah. In that case, it's like, did you go to the bar with her? And you're just, the sweat bead is dripping and you're like, no, right? But you might have been in a bar with her, right? So you don't know
what had happened.
Exactly. Well, technically, I was in a party with her, but
right.
So you can't do any of that, right? And so once we had this show, we were all thinking of how to end it right, and I was like, you gotta end it with the lie detector. That has to be the big punishment at the end of the day, because there's nothing scarier. And for these guys, nobody's putting Diddy in a lie detector. Right. There's no time where DJ Khaled has to be in the hot seat. So to put them both in it and make them have to answer questions, it is so much fun to watch.
It's like your typical game show meets Maury.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's so fun. So is this game show hosting thing it feels like a little iconic in a way, because there's so many people who have hosted shows that I know you probably admire. So did you grow up watching shows? Was this something when you got this job, you're like, yeah, Bob Barker, this is great?
Yeah, Yeah, Bob Barker's
Barker, I know. I
real
grew up
OG.
watching Price is Right.
I used to watch Wheel of Fortune. I used to watch Pat Sajak and all those guys. Love Connection. My mom and dad, we grew up in I grew up in New York and then moved to North Carolina. And my dad really loved television and used to make me watch all the old game shows, late night shows. And so it was really important to him that I knew who Johnny Carson was, even though he wasn't necessarily on TV, when I was growing up. Arsenio Hall was a big inspiration, young Terrence. Even Jerry Springer. I mean, we just used to watch a bunch of that stuff. So to do shows now with layers and fun, to host a show like SafeWord, and then do a love show like Are You the One, and then do the VMAs. I find different joys in the layers of doing all of them.
Absolutely. You're super versatile. And I was just watching you on the VMA pre-show. What did it feel like to have that show back in New York and just be on your turf? And it just looked like so much fun.
Yeah, the first VMAs were at Radio City Music Hall in New York City. So to bring it back there was something that was really special. And I've only 9 out of 10 award shows take place in LA, right? You might get, I do Miss USA, which is in Vegas. You have a couple other ones, but most of the time you're in Los Angeles. So to come back and just be on 50th and see, all the people lined up on the street, to be able to block off 50th, it's crazy. And then to do, the after party on the roller skate, the ice skate rink at Rockefeller. The whole thing is just, it's a lot of fun.
What was your favorite moment from the show? I have so many. The Nicki Minaj performance in the Oculus for me was just like hard to beat.
Yeah.
But what was it for you?
Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
Was dope for me. Jennifer Lopez and Ja Rule on stage was really cool to watch. And to just see somebody, like her with so many hits, and to see her perform with that level of intensity and she was just up there going crazy. So yeah, she was probably the big highlight of the night for me.
I saw the Ja Rule collaboration coming because they kept cutting to him for reaction shots, and I was like, he's gonna do some J-Lo stuff.
I was really like, I don't know why they even had. I feel like they should have Ja Rule shouldn't have even appeared in there until after the performance was over. Because I saw that and I was like, hold on, is Ja gonna do something? Is Ja gonna do something? So that it didn't ruin the surprise, but I wish he would have just walked right in.
And you've done so many different award shows, and you used to be on 106 in Park. I'm sure you've met all of your musical idols, but is there still somebody who, when they walk down that red carpet, you're like, yes?
So I 106 ended, like 5 or 6 years ago now, maybe, and then E! News was like almost 2.5, 3 years ago, and I've just really been focusing on producing and film since, and so now that I'm kind of getting back into it and doing interviews, everybody like under the age of 27 is new to me, right? Because they were kids when I was doing 106. So like now I get excited. I see the Migos. Migos is here. Where's Migos? Quavo. Like I didn't have them on the couch, so it's so much fun to meet Camila Cabello. Just all the new acts it's like fun, and then like acts that were on the cusp, like Ariana Grande, who I met her as a baby, to see her early in her career, and now to see her as an adult and be like, you've been killing it. It's a lot of fun. So I get excited. I love music and I love pop culture. So I don't care if you're Shiggy Show or if you're Jennifer Lopez. I get excited. We are. This is our Roman empire of creativity and artistry. And 50 years from now, 100 years from now, you look at these artists the same way we still look at Audrey Hepburn movies, and we still look at William Shakespeare work. Some of the stuff is so great that it'll last, and it's exciting to see everybody and the big pot of entertainment that we have going on.
It is so exciting, especially when we lose somebody like Aretha Franklin, and then you go back through her catalog and you see her influence on people today, and you see Ariana performing her song and crying, and you see that connection that music has and how it just is kind of timeless. It is. So it's cool to be a part of that kind of industry.
Absolutely, you said it great.
Yeah, and you're also an actor. So what kind of projects are you interested in kind of pursuing? You've mentioned producing and acting. Is that kind of like your next kind of phase of pushing forward?
Yeah, I'm currently on a show called Hit the Floor on BET right now, and I have my first day on set. It's me and Tiana Taylor doing the scene, and she smacked me really hard, and I'm like, am I sure I want to go all the way back into acting? But nah, it's a lot of fun. I love to be able to wake up in the morning and to explore creativity and do things that make people happy. And so, you know, I could be walking down the street and somebody could say, oh, I just saw Think Like a Man, and I'm just discovering one of your films from 10 years ago, and it's just fun. And I'm not that old, because I keep talking about stuff from 10, 15 years ago, but it's just fun to be able to do things that, you know, can impact people, and you never know what you do that can impact people. And, you know, this interview could impact somebody, so it's just fun to be able to do that.
And what's your background? Did you study journalism? Did you study acting, or was it just kind of?
I'm just half black, half black. I studied both. In college, I probably looked at like Ryan Seacrest and Will Smith. It's like I want to go down that lane in like an Oprah Winfrey type thing, because Oprah, I think, is like one of the best actor hosts to ever do it. And so I've always kind of tried to do both. I think I'm probably better at hosting than acting, but I still try to squeeze my way into roles. And I write a lot of stuff as well, and produce a lot of stuff. So I'm able to keep giving myself jobs. So it's worked out for me. But I love both equally. I just love to be creative and to have fun, you know, doing that.
Have you met Oprah yet?
Yeah. She's dope. She's fine. People don't really talk about how good looking she is until you're like, when you meet her, and then she has this like whole aura about her, and you're like, wow, like she's dope.
She is. Anybody who's into hosting or TV, it's just like she's so iconic. And I just went to DC to the African American Museum, and they had the whole Oprah exhibit, and I was in there crying like a baby. I was like, she's such an inspiration. Like, she really is just the greatest of all time. Like,
yeah, she's incredible.
Yeah.
When we were doing the interview, it was really cold, and my nose was starting to run, and I was like, anybody have a tissue? And Oprah she gave me $100 bill to blow my nose. Like, that's how she gets down. I was like, what's this? That's a joke. Nobody in this audience is waking.
I know. I was like, I thought it was funny.
$100 bill. That would
And then-
scratch your nose.
And then you're like, and I washed it off and I spent it because I need the $100 bill. Absolutely. And I'm always curious too, the J part of your name. Why did you decide to just keep it Terrence J and not go with your full name?
You know, that's back when everybody was you just had an initial. That was the cool. It was LL Cool J and Run DMC, all the groups, all the bands. It was just, you had to have a letter. I think me and Paulie D are the last two people left that have held on to it. But yeah, just at the time, my last name is Jenkins. I guess if you have a Terrence and a J, it should have been my middle name, I guess. But it's my last name, Jenkins. So nothing really special about it. It just kind of stuck. And then when I went to E! News, they wanted me to use Jenkins. And then all your friends are like, now that you're around those white people, you're trying to change your name. And so I just was like, oh, I'm going to keep my name Terrence J then. And so it's just kind of been, it's just kind of stuck.
I love that. And we have the cast of Jersey Shore actually coming in here later, so Paula D will be here. I'm curious, do you think they would be good on SafeWord? Because I'm sure they've got some stories.
That is a good, see, this is you getting your producer
You
on
know?
right now.
Just give me a little credit.
Tell them I really want to get them on set. I love, so Paulie and Vinny just co-hosted the VMAs with me. I know them well. That they would be great on SafeWord. See, look at you. You're casting season 3 already.
But yo, Vinny was hosting.
He was so focused.
He was so good.
So focused.
I was really impressed. I was like, he's trying. Like, you can tell. Like, I could see him doing that.
Oh, it was no Vanny. The credits here, baby.
Yeah.
That guy was, and you know, we had rehearsals and table reads the days before leading up to it. He was on time. He was money.
I think that's going to be his second act. I can see it.
Absolutely.
Happening. Well, before we let you go, I know we have a couple questions in the audience. So who do we have up first? Right here?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. What do you enjoy doing best? Do you enjoy being a host, an actor, model, producer? What's your favorite?
What's your name?
My name is Sophia.
Sophia, thank you so much. So it used to be all of the above. Now what I enjoy doing best is hanging with my French bulldogs. I have 2 French bulldogs, Bam Bam and Rocky, and I don't really care about any of this stuff anymore. I just care about like hanging with them. I want to build a family. I love like talking to my family, and just like I care like way more about that stuff, and then like this stuff is like fun, you know. So and all of it's fun. I love hosting, I love acting, I love all of it, but the best part for me is just like you know, spending time with the family and getting to kick it. I like doing interviews like this. This is like really cool and like it's fun. Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
That makes so much sense because you spend, I'm sure, so much of your day exerting so much energy. And it's just nice when you can just go home and chill and like Netflix with your dogs.
Yeah, I started really young. I started 15 years old. Yeah. I was on a commercial radio station doing radio, and did it all through college. And you know, I was on TV since I was like 22. So like now I'm 36 now, and I just like, you know, for me it's just about smaller moments. You know, it's more micro than macro for me now. Yeah.
That's probably healthy. Oprah would say that that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Next question.
Hey,
Morning.
you and Cassie had an amazing performance, and I was wondering if there's a chance that there will be a sequel to The Perfect Match.
Thank you. First of all, that movie for me, that's like that has a lot of like my real life stuff in it from going through a really bad breakup. So whenever people like that, it was a small indie movie that I really love. So I appreciate you that you watched it. And Cassie was amazing. She auditioned so hard and like really like focused on every scene. I would absolutely do another one with her. The scheduling's been crazy, and I think I don't know. I think we might have some. I got to get like the rights issues and figure out where we are with it, but it's definitely something I could see like dusting off and doing a sequel for if people wanted to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we want to see it.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
That was fun. Yeah.
And last question.
She came out of the closet for the last question. She was in the bathroom, was like, I am Fred. These are washed hands. Here is your question. All right.
Hi. So I was just wondering, what are some celebrity game shows and talk shows that have inspired you to make this show?
Everything, man, from Fear Factor to Love Connection. I love American Idol. I try to like make this show like feel like a bunch of different stuff, and like all of the games, you know, some are like romance and like sexy SafeWord type games, and then some of them are like locked in the dungeon, please let me out type drinking games. So I just try, you know, our producers and writers, we just try to do a wide variety that inspired this particular show. But I love TV. I mean, I watch everything from Homeland to Stranger Things and all reality in between. So I love to make people smile.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And SafeWord almost reminds me of like a family game night too, because you have the celebrity guests, but then each guest has their own like team of comedians that help them roast. And so they're really just like, it always reminds me of like seeing my brothers in the basement with their friends, like just laughing and
our comedians, they're the fun and the heart and soul of this show. They come up with the jokes. All right, our producer's rapping.
Yeah,
so we gotta
I
get
think
out
we
quick.
have one last question actually.
All right, okay, all right.
How you doing, Terrence?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. First of all, congrats on everything. I've been following you for a while, and I relate to your story a lot. But what advice do you have for budding entrepreneurs like myself in this day and age, and like how to be seen and how to be successful?
Well, I think, thank you for your question. I appreciate it. I think now, you know, you have the advantage with the disadvantage of social media, right? Back when I started in entertainment, there was no social media. You know, there wasn't even Black Planet yet. No Facebook, none of that. Now you are able to directly correspond with your consumer, right? So whatever entrepreneur endeavors you have, whatever businesses you're trying to build, whatever product or art you're trying to put out, you can directly affect your consumer. The problem is everybody's on, and there's so many people doing it, and there's no filters. So I think focusing on the quality of whatever it is that you have going on. What is your business that you're an entrepreneur for?
Business, we do product development, so we invent like fashion technology brands.
Yeah. So the focus in making sure that the technology and the fashion behind your specific book bag, which you can hand to me because I see what you're trying to do right now. So I'm gonna just go ahead and let you do it. Your man is trying. Yeah. So you got your book bag, and it's. Yeah, you hold it. Is making sure that before you get to the nuts and bolts of trying to sell it and market, is making sure that it's as dope as possible and the attention to details, which it looks like. It looks like a really dope bag. Whatever technology, whatever you have going on with it, is making sure that your actual product is amazing. When you have good product, people will find it. People find good things.
Yeah.
If you know, and using the example of a singer or art, if you're a good singer with a strong voice, you shouldn't be worried about how do I get people to hear. Just work on your voice and work on singing, and people will, you know, you put yourself out there, people will find you. And so that is the same for this. Work on your craft, work on, you know, keeping it cool, let it build organically, use social media and the tools around you, and you know, hopefully I'll be wearing your book bag one day. I was gonna say on the red carpet, but that wouldn't make sense. So back at a back to school show I have going on. All right. Best of luck to you. Absolutely. What's the name of your...
Terrence, you're like an actor, a host. Now you're a life guru, helping people. I mean, so much good advice right there. That was really powerful. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you. All of you owe me $59.99.
Exactly. In 3 easy installments. It'll be great. Well, I love this show. If you guys haven't checked out SafeWord, Season 2 debuts on August 24th on MTV. Guys, give it up for Terrence J.
Thank you. You're super dope. Thank you.